Todrick in the second half, their 14 made field goals. 9 of those were layups. Was that breakdowns and closeouts, or what was going on there wrong defensively?
Yeah, just communication and I think a lot of breakdowns on defense. Not enough help side that we needed, but we'll get better at it.
Get a microphone to you.
Justin, as a team, y'all have done so well from the free throw line the past couple games. Iowa State, this game, y'all have struggled. Is it mental? What's going on with those issues?
All mental. We know we're a very good free throw shooting team. Unfortunately tonight we didn't shoot it as well as we should have, and ultimately I think that cost us. Besides our mistakes, defensive mistakes we made. So, if we made the free throws, we would have been in the ball game, and or probably ultimately I think won the ball game if we made. I think we missed what 10. So 10 missed free throws, 10 points. So it's all mental, and we'll get back tomorrow at it, and start shooting them up again, and make them in the next game.
Todrick, as a team, both the other night against Iowa State and tonight, you seem to get right on the brink of taking a lead and not being able to quite do that. Is there a reason for that?
No, I think we just have to, during that time, we just have to come together and get over that hump. On the road in Iowa State, we was down 2, and I think they kept scoring. And I think that just takes togetherness and coming together as one to get that one stop.
Justin, after these 2 tough losses, I know after the Iowa State game, y'all said you learned you have a lot of toughness and heart. But overall, what are the biggest lessons y'all have taken away from this hard week?
Just like Tajik said before, just defensive breakdowns. We can't allow the other team to take advantage of our mistakes, and we just got to buckle down and do what Coach Smith asked us to do and communicate. I think that was a big key. In second half, we miscommunicated, and ultimately, they made a lot of threes, a lot of tough threes, and that kind of pulled out their stretch of their lead a little bit. And ultimately, I just think we still got to buckle down on defense in the second half. We played really good defense in the first half, but just kind of let up in the second half, and ultimately was the key to the victory. But well-coached team and very talented team, so all praise to them. But I think we definitely could have got this one tonight.
Well, you guys did defensively hold them to the least amount of points that they scored this season. What were you guys doing right, and where do you think that you can build on what went right tonight?
I think our overall aggressiveness. I think we were in their face and a lot of ball pressure, and we had help side, and we were just very active on the defensive end in the first half, and then like I said in the second half we just had miscommunications on back screens, flare screens, and kind of over helping, not closing out correctly. So we'll go over that in film and correct that for the next game.
We had some opportunities, but we're going up against the number 1 team in the country, and they proved tonight why they're number 1. I know, coming off of the game they had Monday night, I thought our guys were ready to play and played hard. We just didn't defend very well, especially late in the game in the second half. Any questions?
What was the biggest area defensively in those breakdowns you just mentioned?
Just backdoors. It's a play that that's what Bill Self's team do. They he'd call the play, and we were just very lackadaisical, and we weren't even open playing denying and got backdoored. So it's really disappointing to see that happen. And then the flare screens we know is coming, and it seemed like guys just ran into them twice, and we didn't switch out. So that's disappointing. And those situations are things that guys have to communicate and talk. And I thought we did the same thing happened at Iowa State. We didn't do a good job of communicating when the screens were being set. Pressuring the passer on a backdoor situation. We have to work on it.
Coach, given all that, though, it's the free throw shooting that does you in tonight, 9 of 19. Is that a mental thing, or is that just something that just becomes contagious?
A lot of things did us in the night. 16 plus 6 rebound. We didn't rebound the ball. We didn't defend in the second half like we should. And we put that together with free throw shooting. Yeah, you're right. That's a remedy for a loss. You're not going to win many games like this. So I don't care who you're playing against, whether it's a number 1 or number 50 in the country. You're just not going to win. And so we got a real problem in that area right now. And I don't know what it is. We've been shooting the ball well from the free throw line up until Iowa State game, and now it's carried over.
Coach Devontae, your leading scorer, second subpar game in a row. How big of a problem is that for you on offense?
That's a problem. I mean, obviously, we can't. We need we could use his scoring, but the problem is that it affects other parts of his game. So I can live with, for instance, 0 rebounds. You got to, in 25 minutes, you just can't. You just got to play harder and play better defensively, and maybe your offense will come.